Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of President Trump after he was bumped with a boom mic. Before we get started with this, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go.
Obviously, you're concerned.
All right, let's go back and break this down.
Mr. President,
So the first thing you're seeing is that he's leaning forward. When he's talking to somebody, he tends to be engaged. He tends to lean forward.
obviously, you're
Then immediately after that, when you see him get bumped in the cheek, he leans back. Now, he's surprised by this, as anybody would be. I don't think he was expecting that to happen. So the first thing you're going to see him do is freeze, even very briefly. We do this when we are shocked because we take a second to analyze what we're going to do next. Our brain tells us we need to make sure there's no danger. So when we're surprised by something, the first thing we do is to make sure it's not dangerous, and then we move again. But you're going to see a distinct freezing moment right here.
Mr. President, walk us through the tariff.
Mr. President, obviously, you're concerned.
So there was the freeze, and rather than turning his head to look at the reporter, he just moved his eyes, probably trying to analyze what to do next because he wasn't expecting that. He tends to be in environments that are a little bit more controlled than that, so for something to surprise him is probably a little bit unusual, actually. And right here, as you can see, the corner of the mouth, it's coming up a little bit. We tend to associate that with contempt because it's only on one side of the face. You also see his eyebrows look pretty stern at this moment. And from what I can tell, what I would assume, although I don't know this for sure, is that he's locking eyes with the person who did it. So watch this sequence again right here.
President, walk us through the tariff.
Mr. President, obviously, you're concerned.
And then after that, he raises his eyebrows. So what that does is it can really do two things. One, he's acknowledging, yes, I'm aware that just happened. And two, it's a way of signaling that it was surprising. Because when we're shocked, we raise our eyebrows, we open our mouth, depending on the degree of how shocked we are. So in some ways, him raising his eyebrows is both acknowledging that person as well as acknowledging the shock of what just happened.
Mr. President, obviously, you're concerned. You're concerned about the situation.
And then after that, he puts his chin down. Now, we do this as a defensive posture. So when we protect our necks are very vulnerable. He's probably at this moment trying to process what just happened. Do I look bad in this moment? Whatever it is, should I be embarrassed by this? We tend to process these things and try to figure out how to feel in the moment when something surprises us. So right now, you're seeing him analyze what's happening. Now, if you look at his eyes, he's looking at the person talking to him, but I don't think that he's listening right now because he is processing what I was just saying. Watch this right here.
In Gaza, what are the hopes now to get the 100%?
See, his response, he's getting a question. The question is a logical question about Gaza, but he responds with about what just happened because right now he's probably in the emotional center of his brain. There's the logical center that deals with facts. There's the emotional center that deals with feelings. And right now, trying to figure out how he feels about this, he's probably in the emotional center of his brain. So he's not going to be hearing questions like that and able to answer them in any real fashion for the next few seconds. And this is all a very, very quick moment. Let's watch all this again in sequence, and we'll see where it goes next.
President, obviously, you're concerned. You're concerned about the situation in Gaza. What are the hopes now to get the 100%?
See, she's making television tonight, so he's acknowledging what's going on. He's thinking about what just happened. He's not able to hear what the reporters are saying, which is probably would be true of most people in a situation like this.
This became a big story tonight, right?
So you see him laughing, and the wrinkles next to his eyes suggest that there's part of him that finds amusement in this, part of him that is laughing this off in a real way.
Yes, sir. Did you see that?
All right, and then you see his tongue and his cheek. Now, that is something that we do when we feel concerned. So that's a way to soothe ourselves when we feel bothered by something. So it seems that we're getting a duality here. There's part of him that's laughing it off that may have a slight degree of amusement, but there's another part about this that seems to bother him a little bit. Watch this right here.
Became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that?
See the tongue and the mouth right there? That is something we do when we tend to be concerned or when we're thinking about something. So hopefully this is helping you better understand some of the behavior and body language that you saw. A lot of it was a reaction to surprise and how somebody deals with the emotional center of the brain versus the intellectual center of the brain and how each of those interplays when you get caught off guard. If you have any other thoughts about this, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.